Why do we wash bath towels? Aren't we clean when we use them? Seems to me. No, I promise you this is not an unboxing video. This is merely an order that I placed that arrived today for a couple of things. And as a... God, that's a big box. It needs a little pedal. But there's a couple of small things in this box that I thought I would also share with you. And then kind of turn this into a video. And I thought while I was at it, I would share with you guys, a short list of some of my favorite guitar accessories that I use on pretty much a daily basis. So what was in the box that I was going to share with you guys here today are some of these Ernie Ball Wonder Wipes, and there's three different types of wipes that they sell. They sell the string cleaner, which I bought 2 boxes of these because I was completely out of them. And I also got an instrument polish because I'm almost out of it, but not quite. But ironically, the one that I use the most is probably the fretboard conditioner. And you know what these are, as the name implies, it's just a little wet wipe, basically, with with whatever chemical in question. In this case, obviously, it's going to be a string cleaner. Chemical. You pull it out of the package, and you wipe down what you need to wipe down with it, and it's one wipe will last you if you're working on 3 or 4 guitars one after another or something, doing setups and restrings and stuff like that. One wipe actually will do more than it'll do multiple guitars, well more than one. So. These are a great deal. They're dirt cheap. You can buy them in boxes of 6 like this for like $1.99. $2 for 6 wipes. That will buy a supply of them, and for $10 or whatever it is, and you're set for a while. Next up is what I consider the world's greatest clip-on guitar tuner. This is not... Come on, focus. There it is. This isn't a snark, right? This is the Peterson Strobo Stomp, is what this is. Or, I'm sorry, it's Strobo Clip, rather, is what they call it. Turn it on, very, real big, great big, easy to read screen. And this is it's a clip-on strobe tuner is what it is. If you're familiar with Peterson tuners, Peterson strobe tuners, they're the most accurate tuners on the planet. And they finally came out with a clip-on version that, can be taken with you everywhere because they are really, really accurate tuners. And, oftentimes when I'm recording and jamming around at home, it's a lot easier to grab a clip-on tuner and tune up with one of these than it is to mess with, setting up a pedal tuner and all that kind of stuff. So the other desk, I've actually got a rack mount tuner that I use out there. But honestly, even that rack mount tuner is not as accurate as this one. These are a little bit more expensive than your typical clip-on tuners. These are, clip-on tuners these run, I think, $69.99. So, like I said, they're a little bit pricier than a snark or pick your favorite clip-on tuner. Most of them are usually about 20 or $30. This one is quite a bit more, but it is well worth it. Well made, way more accurate than anything else you're gonna buy. Next is the Onstage footrest. This is Onstage's model numbers are all kinds of weird. This one is the FS7850B. And I think B as opposed to C or S, and they make it in black, obviously, and they also make a chrome version, so you can get it in 2 different colors. But I like to practice. I like to sit down and practice, and sometimes use a footrest to prop my left leg up, just because it's more comfortable to play, and brings the guitar a little bit closer to my body. Again, just a little bit more ergonomically comfortable for me. I've used a lot of different footrests. Different brands. This is the only one I found that has held up. Particularly under my weight, because I tend to put a fair amount of weight on it. I have crumpled so many other ones underneath my foot before. This is the only one that not only has held up, but it looks like it's never even been used. It's so well made. By the way, my wife, who's a skincare specialist, I actually got one of these for her business, as she is, when she's, doing services for clients, this has done wonders for her back. Next, a little miniature keychain flashlight. This is actually a Proline brand, which is a Guitar Center proprietary brand. Guitar Center sells these on their website, believe it or not, for $2 or $3. This is one of those things. It's just handy to throw in your bag, because especially if you're out at a gig and something starts acting funny and you need to start getting behind amps and speakers and stuff like that, and to track down cables and make sure everything's plugged in. It's not always real convenient to grab a cell phone. However, having one of these handy, pull it out of your pocket, pull it out of your bag, wherever it is. Hit the button. And, you got a nice, handy little stage flashlight to carry with you as well. It's also handy here in the studio because there's, I'm sure most other studios are like mine. You got cable runs going everywhere. And sometimes if you got to track something down, it's a real handy way to do it. Next is my trusty little handy-dandy portable wireless system. This is, the Line 6G10. Now, there are lots of other small little wireless systems that are coming out on the market just about every day. A brand called X5 has one, and there's a bunch of them that are out there now. They're fairly inexpensively made. This particular one, I think, this one cost about I think it was like 149, 159, 179, something like that when I bought it. There's now a newer, updated version, I think, called the G10S, which is a little bit more money, but again, for my purposes, I've mentioned this before on my channel. I hate cables. The less cables that I have to mess with, less cables I run around everywhere, the better. And there's sometimes that I don't want to mess with a guitar cable. I would rather just be able to plug my little transmitter into the end of my guitar, plug my little receiver into my amplifier, and call it a day. For small little areas like that, a small little $100, $200 wireless system like this is fantastic. Next up are these handy dandy little, come on focus, Velcro cable straps. These are lifesavers. I hate cables, and the only thing I hate more than cables is buying more cables. So it's important to me to take care of the ones that I have. And I try to do so by winding them up properly. And, I use these little Velcro cable tie things to keep them all wound up properly. Not to the point they get knotted up and all that crazy stuff. It's kind of hard to see behind me, but on that, behind me, there's a stack of cables sitting on my amp, and every single one of them has a little Velcro strip on it. All my cables are stored with Velcro cable ties on them. So they're very, very handy. They're dirt cheap. I think you can buy these on Amazon. You can buy like 100 of these on Amazon for like $7 or something. They are really, really cheap. I'll post links to it down in the description. Again, lifesavers, excellent way to keep your cables. Keep your cables tight, wound up properly, and neatly and organized, but, and also prolonging life. And if you happen to lose one, they're cheap. And next up, this is my old trusty Sanyo Eneloop rechargeable pedal power supply. And now this thing is long since out of production. This is one of the first, maybe even the first, rechargeable power supply, pedal power supplies that were out there. And, you know, it's pretty simple design, you know, made to mount on a pedal board just like anything else. You know, it has a, you know, it comes with all the cables and stuff that you need. That's the one that you would plug into the wall, you know, to charge this thing up. You know, battery life on this thing is insane, by the way. And, of course, it also comes with a couple of your standard AC power supplies and two power outputs. You know, if you got a great big giant pedal board, you know, 10, 15 pedals or something crazy on it like that, this ain't gonna cut it. But, you know, in the studio, if you're just using 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 pedals at a time, you know, and you can use both power outputs on this, daisy chain the pedals together, assuming they're all 9 volt anyway, and again, eliminate an extra power cable run to the wall outlet. Very, very handy. This was actually my main power supply on my pedal board for years. I kept it mounted underneath the pedal board, out of the way, so it didn't take up any actual pedal real estate, but worked great. It was real nice setting this thing up because I didn't have to run anything to the wall. I just made sure it was charged up in advance before the gig. Like I said, this one isn't being made anymore, but there's a couple of other ones that are out there. I think I just saw that Onstage just released their version for, you know, it was like $75, I think is what it cost. This one was about $100 when it was brand new, and that was 12, 15 years ago. You know, so now you can get these things for $75. You know, there's several other models. Pedal Train's got a model or two out there for about $100. You know, they're out there. There's definitely others that are out there to replace the Eneloop. Next up is my trusty Music Nomad detailer. I think is what they call it, a detailer or a detail tool or something. You know, it's got one end. Obviously, it has the the microfiber cloth on it. This is handy. You know, this is like the greatest thing to keep dust off of your instruments. You know, the microfiber end, of course, is really, really handy to get, like, you know, on the fretboard underneath the strings, you know, underneath the strings around the pickups, you know, between, you know, especially if you got a kind of a hard to reach spot between the bridge pickup and the bridge. And of course, you have the fine brush end, and there you probably see all the dust flying off of this thing that's collected. You know, this is probably the end that I use the most. And because I'll tell you what, one thing that drives me absolutely crazy is dust buildup underneath the strings on the headstock. You know, and it's just about any guitar susceptible to it, and it's next to, you really can't avoid it. And when it does happen, short of pulling the strings off, you know, and cleaning it when you're restringing it, it is really, really difficult to keep dust from collecting there. Well, you know, if you don't have a paintbrush handy, which was the old trick, this is probably an even better bet, because this is small enough to fit into the toolkit that you would use to work on your guitars. You know, I think I've got a couple of these actually handy, and like I said, I use them all the time. Great, great, great tool to have around. Now, this video really wasn't meant to be a plug for, you know, for Picker's Grip or any other, you know, any other brands that I may have worked with, but Picker's Grip are going to benefit from this particular video, you know, because this is their new microfiber cloth. If you're a guitar player and you want to take care of your instruments, every guitar player out there needs to have a few polished cloths laying around. You know, you need to have 1 or 2 beaters specifically for, for chemicals like, lemon oil or whatever your fretboard conditioner chemical might be. You know, 1 for polish, 1 for just good old fashioned, spit shining and drying off. Okay. Now, historically, my favorite polished cloth has always been, again, the Music Nomad microfiber cloth. However, this is Picker's Grip's new microfiber polished cloth, and not only is it softer and feels even nicer than the Music Nomad, but I think it's actually a little bit cheaper. This is a really, really nice microfiber cloth. So, and last but not least is the Audix Cab Grabber. Now, if you do any kind of home recording, or, you know, if you play out live, the only thing, you know, I've mentioned a few times that I hate cables because they're messy, they get in the way, they're everywhere, they're hard to store. Mic stands are another thing that I have that problem with. You know, mic stands, particularly in a small environment like the one that I'm in, you know, even a small mic stand can take up a lot of real estate in here. And I have found that the Audix Cab Grabbers are great solutions for for miking up amps in a lot of different situations. This is the Sennheiser E906 guitar mic on here, by the way. This is probably my favorite guitar mic. But the Cab Grabber, this is again, is a great handy little thing to have around. These things run, there's two sizes. There's this one, and then they make a bigger one called the Cab Grabber XL. And that's the one you might. I don't have a light on it, but right about where my thumb is a Cab Grabber XL on my Marshall cab there behind me. The XL obviously is for the bigger, deeper cabinets. I had this particular Cab Grabber, just the regular Cab Grabber, mounted on my 6505 Plus combo that you can't see out of on the camera, but it is directly underneath me. Well, you might be able to see. There's the corner of it, and it's handy. It's just a spring-loaded device. It just grips right onto the outside edge of the combo or cabinet in question. You can adjust it to move the mic to wherever it needs to go. You can even buy a boom. Audix actually makes a specific boom stand, or not stand, but an additional boom to go with it to give you some more flexibility as far as moving the microphone around. Again, great way to free up some real estate on the floor, particularly if you're already in situations that you are, real estate is at a premium as it is, and in most instances in the music industry, real estate is almost always at a premium. So there you have it. There is my top 10 guitar accessories that I use the most as of 2021. So I hope that you found this video informative, and maybe hopefully some of you have discovered a few things that you didn't know about in the past, and can maybe put to daily use in your life as well. So, links down in the description. Please leave a comment down below if you got any other really cool, really handy accessories that you use. By all means, please share them with me. I would love to hear about them. Thank you so much for watching. Adios.